Shalom, 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 Yasha'Allah. This is your boy, Brother Shem Allah, back at you with another quick edifying video. Today's lesson is going to be called Tiny Device, Big Punishment. Tiny device, big punishment. All right, first and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory. I want to say, Halal, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rawchaa, Qadash. That's all praises to the Heavenly Father, whose name is Yahawah, and his only begotten Son's name, who you ignorantly call Jesus, whose name is Yahawashi. All right, and the Holy Spirit, which is the Rawchaa, Qadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS who have ruled well through the Spirit and have fed and edified the sheep in these last days, and has pushed this gospel and this truth to the four corners of the earth in these last days. A mighty shalom. Another mighty shalom to all you Akim out there laboring on the highways and on the hedges and on the unicorn, which is this internet, pushing this 100% doctrine, this 100% truth to the four corners of the earth in these last days. A mighty shalom to you all as well. All right, fair use, fair use. Like I said, this lesson is going to be called Tiny Device, Big Punishment. All right. Fair use, fair use.
He just tapped his hand on the scanner and the payment instantly went through, leaving the cashier completely confused. What he didn't realize was that this guy had a tiny RFID chip implanted in his hand. It works just like a credit card, but with way more features. The chip is inserted with a small injection and sits right under the skin, which was later programmed using a phone. After that, it's like having a hidden power. You can unlock doors, make payments, and even open your car, all with just your hand. As this guy made his...
Right. Now you see, it was similar to the other video that I did earlier. All right, but understand, you see how they said it's like you have a unlocking a power, right? Like a superpower, right? Because you're gonna be able to, unlock different things, pay for different things. All right. The last one said, you check your medical records. This one, you'll be able to unlock, doors, cars. All right. Make payments, the whole nine. Okay. And this is how they're going to push it as convenience. All right. This small, tiny device, all right, is going to be so great for you, but they're not telling you, all right, the consequences. All right. Let's get to that. So let's first get right back to it again. Revelation 13 and verse number 16. It says, "And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hands or in their forehead." All right. And, soon to come, this is going to be mandatory. All right. That you have to get this. All right. Because it says, "And that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name." Okay. You're not going to be able to buy or sell. All right. You're not going to be able to function in this society. All right. In this new world order. All right. Without getting that device. Okay. And they're going to make it mandatory. All right. They're going to make it mandatory. All right. And of course, we know that mark. Let's get it. All right. For maybe those who didn't see it. Or we just going to keep doing it like a broken record. All right. The word is karagma.
Strong's G 5480. Charagma. Charagma.
Right. Karagma. Right. A stamp, imprinted mark. The mark branded upon thing, carved, sculptured, graven image work. All right. And when you go to the root word, it's karax.
Strong's G 5482. Charax. Charax.
Right. Qadash, a pale, a stake, a palisade. All right. But and I mentioned how you take a wooden stake and you put it in the ground. All right. It punctures the ground and goes into the ground when you want to build like a fence post or something. All right. You use that wooden stake. Okay. That's how this device is, as you saw, how it goes into the skin, it penetrates into the skin, and then it pushes the device, right, the RFID chip, into the hand. Okay. And as you see how they talk about it, it's going to be very convenient and easy. all right, to use, all right, to unlock everything. Everything's going to be attached to it, okay? Because not only is it going to be about money, all right, it's going to be about everything else, all right? It's going to be about your medical records, all right, your identification, all right, and then it's going to be, also your money, your keys, okay? It's going to be a all in one, all right, an all in one. And ultimately, they're going to be able to track everything, anything and everything you do. It's going to be digitally tracked, okay? So this tiny device brings a big punishment, all right? Because what they don't tell you, all right? And I know recently, I seen brothers do videos, they had 10,000 people wanting to sign up for the Neuralink, all right? The brain chip, all right? So, hey, this is coming, all right? And it's just, remember, they did the dry runs, right? Back in 19, they did a dry run to see how many people are willing to take things, all right? How many people will just voluntarily sign up, will drive and park, and then they wanted to see how many people wouldn't, all right? Now, what are they doing now? They're pushing that digital ID, all right? See how many people are another dry run, all right, before the real deal, all right, which this is. It's going to be the real deal. You already have people taking it voluntarily. Pretty soon it's going to be mandatory, all right, causing all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive that mark, okay? But they're not telling you, right, that tiny device brings a big punishment, okay? This is Revelation chapter 16 and verse 1. It says, "And I heard a great voice out of the temple saying to the seven angels, Go your ways and pour out the vials of the wrath of the Most High upon the earth." It says, "And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worshiped the image." All right. And when you look at that word sore, it's helkios. Let's get it. Sore.
Strong's G 1668. Helkas.
Helkas. All right. Helkas. It says a wound, especially a wound producing a discharge or pus, a sore, or an ulcer. All right. What is that? See answer. All right. They're not going to tell you that tiny device, right, is going to come with a big punishment. And one of those punishments, all right, is going to be that C answer that you're going to get, okay, from having, a foreign substance, right, an electrical device in your body, all right, that's not supposed to be there, okay. Let's go to verse number 14, okay. They're also not going to tell you that this tiny device brings a big punishment, okay? And let's read it. All right, we read it before. Let's read it again. Revelation chapter 14 and verse 9, it says, "Doom for the worshipers of the beast." It says, "And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, If any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb." All right, Yahawashi and the angels, all right, they're going to be there, all right, watching you, all right, who take this, all right, get your big punishment for taking that tiny device, all right, where you thought it's no big deal, we can take it, okay, it's just a little, yep, it's just a little, but it's going to be a big ass whooping for you, all right, for taking it, It says, "The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, all right, which is poured out without mixture. Okay, the Lord is not going to sugarcoat. He's not going to water down his wrath when it comes upon you for taking this. Okay, so that tiny device is going to bring a big punishment. All right, let's get a little bit about it. Let's go to the book of Zechariah, right, 14 and verse number 12. All right, because not only, all right, those, hey, they're going to feel, all right, the wrath of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, all right, through those ICBM missiles here in Babylon, but it's also going to be Yahawashi, the angels and the chariots, because what are they going to be doing? They're going to be zapping people too, all right? They're going to be, melting flesh off of people, all right, while they stand upon their feet, okay? They're going to, they're going to be issuing the wrath of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. It says, matter of fact, let's get that. Matter of fact, let's get this real quick. And Lord's will, I can remember the other one. So this is Zechariah, all right, chapter 14 and verse number 12. It says, and this shall be the plague wherewith Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. It says, their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. All right, this is talking about, that fire, all right, that fire, that nuclear fire, all right, evaporating your body while you stand up, all right. Yahawashi, when you read the book of 2nd Ezra 13, all right, what he did with the innumerable amount of men that came up against him, all right, he was shooting laser beams and turning their ass into dust, okay? So imagine that, all right? Imagine you standing on your feet and your flesh is just being consumed while you're standing up, all right? Your tongue, right, catching on fire and melting away, your eyes melting away, all right, and the flesh off your body, all right, down to your skeleton, and eventually that melts away, all right. That's the wrath that you're gonna get, okay, when the Lord brings his judgment, okay, here to Babylon, all right. Those ICBM missiles and Yahawashi and the angels and their chariots, all right, making sure that this place is completely desolate. All right. So understand, hey, you wanted to take this. All right. You wanted to take this little tiny device, but you didn't understand it comes with a big, big punishment. Okay. Now I know I forgot what I was looking for. Let's read this again. It says, and this shall be the plague wherewith Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. Okay. Let's see. Let's go back to Revelation. Matter of fact, let me see if there's something that I can remember here real quick. I had it and I lost it. Salakia. Let's go back to Revelation. All right. So understanding taking this device. All right. Not only is it going to cause see answer. All right. But you're going to feel the wrath of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. I got it now. Call out Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. All right. And we understand there's going to be a lot of people who are going to feel that. All right. Isaiah chapter 66 and verse number 15, it says, for behold, Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi will come with fire and his chariots like a whirlwind to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. It says, for by fire and by his sword will Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi plead with all flesh, and the slain of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi shall be many. Okay, it's going to be a great day of slaughter. All right, a great day of slaughter and death. Okay, with poured out without mixture. Okay, during this day, during this time of judgment. All right, people's flesh are going to be getting consumed away by this thermonuclear fire. All right, and Yahawashi and the angels, all right, and their chariots, all right, or their spacecrafts, which have laser beams that are going to be shooting at them, all right, at these people, man. All right, so they're not going to tell you that small device is going to bring you a big punishment at the end of the day. All right. What was that? Let's go to let's go to Revelation. Okay. Revelation 3. All right, and verse number 10. And it says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation. Okay. And ultimately this is going to be the ultimate temptation. This is going to be the ultimate test. All right. The final test. All right. Either you pass or you fail. Okay. And those who pass and will pass on that small device, it says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. All right. Because this is not just going to be, a localized thing. This is going to be a worldwide test. All right. And many people are going to fail. All right. Many people are going to fail this test. All right. And they're going to take, all right, Esau's, they're going to take his idol. All right. And they're going to be destroyed. Right. A lot of people are going to be destroyed. All right. For taking that. All right. There are a lot of people are going to fail that test. But those who don't, right, the Lord said, I will keep you from that hour of temptation. All right. And when you pray, right, Yahawashi told you, you pray, to the Heavenly Father, lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. All right. That temptation is talking about this great trial that's going to come upon the earth. All right. Because if you take that tiny device, there's going to be a big punishment. Okay. And they're not going to tell you that. They're going to tell you how wonderful it is to take it, how convenient it is. Look what we can do. It's like you got a superpower, right? Because you don't have anything in your hand, but all of a sudden you're paying and doing all these different things. But they're not telling you the repercussions of what's going on. All right. So that's why we're out here, to warn the people and to continue to show. All right. And if you take it, you will be destroyed. All right. So with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory. I want to say, Qadash, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Qadash. Peace and blessings to the elect of the 12 tribes scattered abroad, a mighty shalom to the 144,000 men. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS who have ruled well through the Spirit and have fed and edified the sheep in these last days. Another mighty shalom to the rest of the elect out there. Stay diligent in the household of faith. Stay diligent, stay focused, keep praying for one another. All right. And keep the patience. All right. Keep the word of patience. And Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi said, I will keep you from the hour of temptation. All right. But if you take that little device, there's going to be a big punishment to pay. All right. And with that, we say a ball and shalom.